On day 20, we'll be off on our own. We'll take the shuttle bus to the airport, pick up the rental car, come back and get Deborah, go to the North Pole, and then go to our hotel, rest a little bit, go looking for moose, then drive to the Running Reindeer Ranch where we'll look there before coming back to the hotel for the night. As we leave Bear Lodge, we go to Creamer's Field and look at the migratory waterfowl that are gathering there. Next, we head down the road to North Pole. In Fairbanks, you'll see plugs hanging out of the front of cars. This is not the charge thing. It gets 50 below here in the winter, and they use it to heat the blocks to keep the oil and batteries from freezing up. Soon we're driving in the city of North Pole, Alaska. And there's the North Pole itself. And over there's McDonald's. We'll be eating there before going to shop at Santoline. Santoline is where Santa takes off to fly around the world on Christmas Eve. And you better be careful. He's got his eye on you. And then it's time to head inside and shop. That man over there looks a little familiar. Do you recognize him? And now, with her shopping mission completed, Deborah Deering heads back to Fairbanks. There we'll go to the River Lodge Resort, where we're going to be staying and check in to our cottage before heading out again. The River's Edge Resort is located on the edge of the Chena River, and this is the one we'll be staying in. We have a back patio looking out on the Chena River, and this is an area where a lot of recreation takes place. And now we go looking around town and cruising for moose. We see a whole bunch of signs of them. They even have special fences down at Anchorage so that the moose can get off the roads and not get back on when they are walking down the road. But we're not going to see any moose today. In fact, for the entire trip, we're only going to see 4 or 5 moose not in zoos. We'll see almost 24 grizzly bears by comparison. After riding a while, we decided to go wash clothes at the RV park next to our resort. And then we go to the Running Deer Ranch. Along the way, we're going to be looking for moose. Oh, there's a moose crossing sign, but no moose are crossing. Close because here's the reindeer crossing sign. And as we arrive and pull into the ranch, what greets us but a reindeer? In fact, there are about 8 grazing in the front yard. Running Reindeer Ranch was started by Robin Atkinson, but now her mother Jane leads the tours while she's at college.
I look at those reindeer and I thought, unfortunately out loud, I wonder about reindeer. And then I hear, yes, Mom, I love reindeer, perfect, I love them. I said, okay, honey, if you want reindeer, you do the research, you do the fundraising, that's it, your project. So for the next 2 years, her sole focus in life was about reindeer and caribou. Her science fair projects, her social studies reports, her English papers, anything she could integrate into her school work was about reindeer and caribou. She spent a lot of time volunteering at the university. She secured a vet here in town. She got a list of reindeer owners around the state. So you guys have seen reindeer other places, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah. Okay, how about caribou? I've seen caribou.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you might be thinking, now wait a minute, reindeer, caribou, isn't there some connection there? And indeed there is. They are the same genus and species. They're different subspecies of one another. So here in North America, we refer to the wild animals that live here as caribou. Reindeer are domesticated livestock that have been domesticated between 4,000 and 6,000 years in different parts of northern Europe and Asia, but never here in North America. Our indigenous peoples never domesticated the caribou, wild animals. One big difference between them is that caribou are migratory animals. Reindeer are homebodies. Where they are born is where their heart is. You remember he went, and he just had these teeth everywhere. Oh my goodness, poor guy. He must have been so uncomfortable during the whole filming of that movie because they slathered false teeth all over him. Oh. Reindeer actually don't have any teeth on top here. They have itty bitty teeth down here. They have a gap top and bottom with no teeth here and then chewy teeth back here. So that means 2 things today. If you were hoping for a big toothy grin from the reindeer, you're not going to get it. And the other thing it means is that they cannot bite you, so you don't have to worry about being bit by a reindeer. If you know anything about horses, the big rule is don't walk behind them because they might kick you. Well, reindeer have excellent peripheral vision. They can see in front, behind, antlers, and feet. They don't need to kick you. If they want to go away from you and you come behind them, they're going to walk away. So you don't have to worry about being kicked by a reindeer. Also, reindeer will not run up and butt you the way those pesky goats do. So you don't have to worry about that either. I have asked that you please not touch their antlers. Right now their antlers are growing and they are in what we call velvet. Highly vascularized and in the process of growing, covered with that furry skin. So they've got this really dark underfur that is a lanolin-rich, waterproof fur coat. So if you pet them this time of year, you will feel that lanolin on your hands. It's amazing. So be sure you do get a chance to feel them and pet them and get that lanolin. Now you know what's going to happen though is you start seeing this lighter coat coming on in there. That is a hollow hair. So they're going to start growing that in next. When they've got all of their fur, they have 15,000 hairs per square inch. It is amazingly thick fur coat. And that all comes off in June. So if you come here in June. So now if you look at a reindeer and you look at a caribou right next, side by side, you'll notice that a reindeer or a caribou is taller. They just run and scatter across the tundra. They can sprint up to 50 miles an hour. Amazingly fast animals. Now reindeer were designed to live by people. So, and be protected by people. They are shorter, they're squatter, they're more barreled bodied. They're like a sausage on sticks. They were designed to be served on the dinner table. That's what they were designed for. So they can't run that fast. When their mechanism of dealing with their, when predators come is to start running, they'll pull together into a single file line. The fastest ones will get up front, and then they do a technique called rounding where they come back on the herd and they start spinning around on the herd. The fastest ones will be in the middle, slower ones on the outside. Those are the ones that get picked off by the predators. Works great as long as you're faster than someone else. And as long as you have a big herd there. But eventually there won't be any left, and to round with, and you're just going to be the last one picked off by the predators. So reindeer must be protected by people. At the peak of the reindeer industry here in Alaska in the 1930s, there were about 600,000 reindeer. Presently there's about 10,000 reindeer in the state. The industry went belly up. They just sort of left the reindeer either out on the tundra to fend for themselves. They got mixed in with the caribou. The caribou would come through. They're like, oh, we're moving. And reindeer being homebodies are like, but this is such a nice place to live. And they're like, yeah, no, we're going. So they try to keep up with the predator. There are huge adaptations here, though, for living in the Arctic are their hooves. And if you look at their hooves, you'll see that those front hooves are very, very broad. They're actually as broad as a moose hoof, but moose are about 3 times as big as these guys. So very broad. In the wintertime, they come really flat on those hooves, and it creates very nice snowshoes. So they stay more up on the snow, whereas moose will just, with their long legs, will go through the snow. So they also will go walk into a single file line throughout. So in the winter months, we get a little trail through here, and then the reindeer are all, and if you happen to be in front of one and they want you to go, give you a little nudge. So these guys then, as they, those hooves in the summer months when it's hard to walk around that tundra, they'll come more up on point. Try rocket. Can you see that it goes right in the same spot there? That way it only has to break the snow once and go through.
The Atkinsons have bought the house next door, and we're walking over there for some warm cookies and lemonade and to learn a little bit more about the reindeer. The wood frog is the only type of frog in Alaska. There are 4 other reptiles and amphibians, mainly in the southeastern corner of the state.
It happens pretty quickly.
She's more dangerous than that, right? Sometimes.
All right. So, okay, while we were out there, you guys, I heard someone refer to their antlers as horns. Yeah.
Probably those late people.
All right. They're not horns. This is a horn of a doll sheep here.
And now as we leave Running Reindeer Ranch, we head back to the hotel at the River's Edge Resort where we'll spend the night and thus end day 20.